everybody, and welcome to your Indie Snapshot for today. Today, we're taking a look at a game called Back to Bed. A game that recently was just kickstarted, actually has a free version of the game out already, and has a bunch of awards nominated to its title, including the Indie Game Festival. Is created by a bunch of students, was originally created for a 6-week project, people loved it, and now they're trying to get it out on iPhone, Ouya, the PC, so Steam probably, and whatnot. And it is a puzzle game with a solid mix of lemmings tossed in. It is a game where you are directing a sleepwalker to his bed through the Dreamverse without trying to wake him up. So without further ado, let's play, let's talk, and let's make a decision. So, let's hit play. And as you can see, I've played a bunch already. I don't think there are any more past 12 levels. I got to level 10 before. I was like, alright, let's record it. Let's start with level 1. We'll talk about it. This game gets deviously difficult, and is a lot of fun all the way through. And the tutorial should help.
He will fall asleep.
So really, right there, what I want to talk about is
Get up safely to bed.
talk about the voice. The voice they're using is really awesome. I really like it. So,
Point and hold mouse.
as you can see, I'm not actually playing as Bob. I am playing as his little rabbit dog with a human face. With I think it's his face actually. I think it's Bob's face that they use.
Turns clockwise.
This is the tutorial level that they're kind of showing how Bob moves, essentially. He will bump into objects, and when he bumps into them, he will always turn clockwise. And the goal is literally to direct Bob to bed. And there's the bed at the end of every level.
Are good.
Beds are good. You hold the left mouse button to move. You click the right mouse button to interact with objects, which you'll see as we go on. And that is the simple tutorial level, the basics of how this game works. The graphics are, I mean, for an indie game, kind of nice. They're very simple, which I think is always a smart move, especially if you are a student team, essentially, playing and making a game. Creating good-looking, simple graphics with some really stylistic art is going to be the way you want to go. That way, if things are not, you know, looking as pristine as you would like them to, they still look good due to the art style, which is looking awesome. And this is obviously a take on surrealistic paintings, which I like. So, we have to not wake up Bob.
To pick stuff up.
So Bob needs to get to his bed, and this is the very basics of the puzzle level. And one of the things you want to do is pick things up. So like I said, right-clicking will pick up objects, and we're going to get these apples out of the way. But of course, it's not going to be this simple. Next level things start to get a little bit harder, but the very basics of the tutorial are sold. So the idea behind it is this is all Bob's subconscious, like, reality. I love the blinking eyes. I love the weird stuff that goes on in the background. And one of the cool design features that I think they made is that when Bob's about to fall off an edge or wake up, this whole screen starts to shake. Like, all of reality is going to start to crash. So each level between, you'll see this little cutscene. You can click to skip it, though. And the nice slamming noise is pretty cool. I really like that. So, this level, Bob turns clockwise. So, they do show the footprints, by the way, as to where Bob's going to walk, which is actually really needed, which I like. And if we look here, Bob is literally, if he keeps following this path, he will continually walk in a circle. So, with stairs like this, we can walk up them. And the apple is a hat. So, with this one apple, we need to get Bob to the bed. That's all we have to work with, and as you can see, there's a hole in the floor with teeth. How are we going to get Bob to bed? Well, let's see. So, if he keeps turning clockwise, you're going to see my horrible puzzleness, by the way. Let's see. We need to get him to bed, so we want to get him to bed. So, we probably want to plop the apple here so he can turn clockwise. And then, with this, we don't need to do it anymore. He's actually going to walk straight up here, and then to the bed. If we had done it one off, obviously he would have fallen into that hole, which I've done plenty of times.
Sleepwalkers need beds.
Sleepwalkers need beds. He sounds like a voice actor, whoever this... I don't know if this is a robot voice or whatnot, but he sounds like somebody from Dota 2. So, as you can see, things are going to get a lot more difficult as time goes on. Now, we have... one of the things I really want to commend this game for doing is consistently adding new and fun kind of obstacles every single time you play the game. These little paintings, by the way, are really awesome. Alright, so we need to get Bob through the paintings. Every time you walk through a painting, it's basically a portal. It'll bring you somewhere else. So we want to get him through the portal, probably placing the apple here. And he should walk through here. One of the awesome features, watch this. As you can see, I didn't notice this until the second time I did this puzzle. You can see Bob kind of coming through the picture. It's kind of creepy, but then he pops through. So do you see what I mean, by the way? It has a very Lemmings feel to it, where the whole idea behind Lemmings was getting from all the Lemmings from point A to point B, while giving them the tools necessary to do so. But they were so dumb they were just going to walk off the edge if you didn't provide them the necessary route to get there. So very similar in that manner. As things go along, you're going to have more and more things added to the game to make it more difficult. So this time we have a dog. So he will bark if he gets anywhere near Bob. So if we put the apple here, the dog should fall off the edge. Again, I'm making this look really easy. You don't have no idea how hard it was for me to figure this out. But Bob should be able to just walk straight over here, and then we'll just place the apple here, and he should just turn and go to bed. Nice and easy. Really, really simple. So the whole Lemmings feel, the idea of adding something new to every level, by the way, is really great. I think that's really smart by the students to do so. We can even speed up time here. If you know you haven't figured out, you can speed it up. But again, most of the time I was failing in creating this scenario. So things that I actually really like about the game, I think the art style looks great. The sound design is simple and great as well. You have the idea about the puzzles to get really difficult, but not to the point of infuriating. So this will blow air, which we don't want him to do. So we're gonna block the air every single time, and then hang on. We don't want him to go on the railroad tracks, obviously, because of the train. So once he gets past that, we'll take it, and we need him to turn here. So as you can see, the world is starting to shake, which is kind of indicative of things are about to turn really bad really quickly. We want to do that. There you go. There we go. So the art style, great. The sound design, absolutely great. The upping the difficulty every level, really, really good as well. They actually do a really good job balancing the game. And the simple design behind it is just really solid. I'm really excited. The one downside that I can say to this game is not one that it really has control over. It's just, if it's 12 levels, if really there are only 2 more left, it's too short. But the Kickstarter should be fixing that. Don't wake Bob up. This is really, really easy puzzle. I remember doing this puzzle and going, whoa, well, that was it. That was the only. That's all I had to do. So all you gotta do is grab these, plop them down, and it's done. So we can just get out of Bob's way and crank it up. And easy, done deal. So that puzzle for some reason was incredibly easy. I feel like that could have been sent a puzzle back or two. Maybe even be the puzzle to introduce you to the air blowing mechanic, as opposed to the one that seemed a bit more difficult. That could have been much, much easier than the one before it. So I would have liked more levels. I would love to see a lot more what they can do with a whole creative team kind of behind them. Actually, no, let's do that. And then we have to give this fish over here, which should be good. Yep, there we go. We're going to slap this fish down. And we're going to slap this one down as well. So these fish basically serve as bridges, and we need to allow him to walk on them. That should be good right there. Easy enough. Bedtime is over. And there we go. So this game is free. I'm going to obviously link it in the description below. It's a really solid puzzle game. It's a lot of fun. It's really simple in concept, but really difficult upon execution. Some of the quick thinking that needs to happen as Bob is walking, the whole idea of Bob walking to his bed nonstop and even walking to his death, is one of those situations that kind of puts a panic behind the player. It panics the player pretty decently. Oh, he's going to die, I think. You can see what happens when he falls. So an eye opens up in the background, which is kind of creepy, by the way. And he falls to his death and he wakes up. Just hit retry. The atmosphere that they put behind this game is pretty weird. I want to say the atmosphere is great because it's a really bizarre and unsettling atmosphere in a lot of ways. I actually, playing this game, said this game's actually kind of creepy in its own sense, which is actually good, I think. So we're gonna do this. We can speed it up a little bit. All right, boom. He's gonna walk to his death, but not anymore. Quick thinking, like I said, it's always moving objects and getting them into the bed with quick thoughts and quick puzzle solutions. So the camera angle is great. I like the isometric angle with with a 3D kind of environment and gameplay mechanic. The camera you don't have to worry about in that respect. You're really just worrying about what's kind of laid before you. The controls, like I said, are quite simple but quite good.
At your service.
At your service. So we have a fish we're gonna need. He's gonna come down here, and he'll probably avoid the dog. I don't actually know where he's gonna go. I want to do that. I don't really know if I can do... I probably had to go over there. This is a puzzle. This is 11. I'm not going to beat the game, actually. So he gets woken up and he freaks out and he dies in his dream, and therefore he wakes up. So we'll stop here. Again, it's going to be a short indie snapshot. But the idea behind it is great. The execution is great. The design is great. The level designs, though a little repetitive, I will say mildly repetitive, with the new introduction of different kinds of puzzles in each level, and the different unique combinations of them throughout are great. And with more levels coming, with it being developed with an actual budget behind it now, even though it's just a small budget of about $13,000 that they have ended up getting at the end of the Kickstarter, I'm looking forward to a lot more levels. Double it, maybe even triple it if you could. New different kinds of puzzles and techniques, weird stuff. The idea that what makes this really fun and unique is the whole surreal aspect of things, to be able to walk on walls, going through pictures, the fact that he only turns clockwise, planting fish down, just all this cool stuff really makes this game a solid sell for me. And again, it's free right now. Highly suggest you go check it out. It's well worth your time, and I challenge you to not fail on these puzzles the first time. Even after seeing me, I guarantee you may fail the first time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you go check this game out. Again, it's well worth it, and I will see you all next time.